We just learned today that Toyota pumps $3.4 billion into US battery production to amp up electric vehicle production. Toyota, Stellantis, Foxconn, Ford, and Volvo all made announcements about electric vehicle component or assembly plants today, or plans to raise capital to fund the transition to electric mobility. The moves come on top of previous plans from Ford and General Motors to build 5 US battery factories in anticipation of the shift to electric power. The moves are ahead of demand at the moment, but forecasters predict that the share of electric vehicles will rise dramatically as more battery electric models are rolled out, as governments increase requirements for zero emissions vehicles to fight climate change. Toyota, which has been drawing criticism from left and right, justly and unjustly, from environmental groups for failing to join the shift to battery powered vehicles, is making its biggest bet ever on the technology, with plans to spend about $3.4 billion through the end of the decade in the United States to speed up development and production of advanced batteries for electric cars and trucks. There are lots of interesting news about this topic today in the news. Alan Onsman, for example, reports in Forbes that Toyota's US investment includes building a $1.3 billion factory that's expected to employ 1,750 people and creating a new unit with affiliated materials and trading company Toyota Chuyo that will begin production by 2025. Toyota said today in a press release. The moves are part of the Japanese industrial giant Toyota's broader initiative announced last month to spend $13.5 billion globally to catch up with competitors, including General Motors, Ford, and Volkswagen, that have also committed billions to electrifying their own lineups, as well as Elon Musk's Tesla. Here's a quote I want to share with you, friends, from Toyota. Toyota's commitment to electrification is about achieving long-term sustainability for the environment, American jobs, and consumers. Toyota North America CEO Ted Ogawa said in a statement, Forbes quotes, "This investment will help usher in more affordable electrified vehicles for United States consumers, significantly reduce carbon emissions, and importantly, create even more American jobs tied to the future of mobility," Ogawa said in that same statement. Friends, Toyota has been a leader in hybrids for decades with the Prius and is the biggest seller of hydrogen fuel cell electric cars with its zero emission Mirai sedan. Toyota hybrids have been doing really well, and though it also provided a game-changing boost to Tesla in 2010 when CEO Akio Toyoda essentially gave Elon Musk's company an idled auto plant in Fremont, California, the company has been slow to add models powered solely by batteries to its lineup. Toyota's hesitancy to do so, combined with its support for former President Donald Trump's push to weaken automotive fuel economy rules and an effort to stop California's automotive carbon emissions regulations, led environmental groups such as the Sierra Club to attack it for being stuck in reverse on sustainability. Stuck in reverse was a quote actually from them. Here is another quote: "From being among the loudest supporters of Donald Trump's most significant attack on our clean air to now lobbying President Biden to delay the electric vehicle transition, Toyota is at best the laggard of the auto industry." Catherine Garcia, acting director of the Sierra Club's Clean Transportation for All campaign, said in August. Forbes quotes that. I will have the link in the description of this video, friends. The company's first battery-powered vehicle, the BZ4X crossover, is to go into production next year in Japan and China and be sold worldwide in 2022. That's basically next year. We will have a great Toyota EV, hopefully. The company said in April that it will have about 70 electrified models available in global markets by 2025, including 15 battery electric vehicles. Of those, 7 will be part of its BZ line. Toyota's battery push in the US will initially focus on producing lithium-ion for hybrid electric vehicles. Hydrogen, which like batteries, powers vehicles with no tailpipe pollution, has been a bigger focus for Toyota since the 1990s, though Mirai fuel cell sedan sales are relatively modest, limited mainly to California in the United States, one of the few places with hydrogen fuel stations. The company is pivoting to heavy-duty hydrogen vehicles with its Hino Truck subsidiary. In August, Toyota said it would start building fuel cell modules for hydrogen-powered semi-trucks at its massive Georgetown, Kentucky plant starting in 2023. Friends, at present, only about 4.8% of the roughly 80 million new vehicles sold globally run solely on electricity, according to LMC Automotive. Only about 5%, 4.8 to be more precise. But the consulting firm AlixPartners predicts that will rise to 11% in 2025 and 24% in 2030. If plug-in gas electric hybrids, which can travel short distances solely on electricity, are included, that figure rises to 28% in 10 years. It will be interesting to check these numbers in 10 years. Simultaneously, AlixPartners predicts that global sales of gas and diesel-powered vehicles will fall from the current 89% to around 39% by 2030. Gas electric hybrids, which run on gasoline and electricity at the same time, rise from 7% currently to 33% in 2030. All of us are trying to get a fix on how customers will accept electric vehicles. Chris Reynolds, Chief Administrative Officer for Toyota in North America, said in an interview with the Associated Press, "We don't know for sure, but we have to be ready." That was a quote. Now, Stellantis, formerly Fiat Chrysler, and LG Energy Solution said Monday that they plan to build a battery manufacturing facility to help the automaker get 40% of its US sales from vehicles that run at least partly on electricity by 2030. They did not say where the plant would be. What do you friends, what do you think? Let me know about your thoughts about Toyota. I mean, 3.4, I believe, billion dollars is a serious announcement, but it's by 2030, I think by the end of the decade, Toyota will have its first EV sold globally next year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to test drive it and maybe to participate in press events for the media. We'll let you know how things go. Let me know your thoughts, please. This is Armen Hareyan from TalkNews.com. Please subscribe to our channel for daily Tesla, electric vehicle, Toyota news, and ring the bell so you don't miss my next coverage. Have a great day. Peace be with all of you. And if you found this report interesting, please give us thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. See you soon. Peace be with all of you.